Here, I'm posting this video to do a couple questions about the homework, and also I've had students who, or a student who mentioned to me that I hadn't been putting much stuff on the website, especially geometry, Leasia Campbell, that is. So this is for her and for any other student that watches this to get help for the homework. I have been slacking off on my geometry videos. I put a lot on my website for pre-calc, but geometry I've been not doing as many. So I'm going to go over a couple problems from the homework. The homework was dealing with medians, and every one of the problems on the homework you had to assume that you had medians drawn. So look at number one. They're asking for FE. So you want to find FE, which is this entire segment, so from F to E, if TE is equal to 8. Well, TE would be right here, so TE. And remember, a median is connecting a vertex to the opposite segment's midpoint. And if this is our midpoint, that means that it is the middle of this entire segment. So if it is the middle, that means it cuts it in half, which means FT has to be 8, which means the entire segment from F to E must be 16. So that's our first one. All right, now I'm going to skip down to number 5. Number 5. All right, so now it's important to identify what you're looking for. So you're asked to find ZQ, and ZQ would be this one I'm marking in red, if ZD is equal to 6. So they're telling you that ZD, the segment from Z to D, is 6. So this entire thing is 6. And we know we're looking for ZQ. Well, if the entire thing is 6, we know that DQ, DQ and ZQ, you have to have a 2 to 1 ratio. So those segments have to do two things. So when I say segments, I mean DQ and QZ. Those two segments have to do two things. They have to add up to 6 for one, but they also have to be in a 2 to 1 ratio, which means ZQ is twice or double DQ or QD. So you can't have 3 and 3. That's not possible. Even though they add up to 6, remember, medians are always cut into a 2 to 1 ratio if you have an intersecting point, which remember is called the centroid. So that means whatever DQ is, ZQ is double. But they also have to add up to 6. So you can't have 5 and 1. Now they do add up to 6, but it's not a 2 to 1 ratio. You can't have 3 and 3. Obviously you can't have 6 and 0. Well, what about 4 and 2? That looks like it works. 4 and 2 adds up to 6, and you have a 2 to 1 ratio. Because QZ, so QZ is double Q to D. So 4 and 2 are going to be our lengths, and ZQ would be 4. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to do number 9. Okay, let's see, find DH. So DH is going to be this piece right here. And we know that BH, the entire segment, so the entire segment, I'll do that in blue here, the entire segment is 4.5. And we want to find DH. Well, again, we have the same issue as last time. We know that the two shorter segments that make up the median, which would be BD, so BD and DH, those two segments combined have to add to 4.5, but they also have to have a 2 to 1 ratio. So let's just think, well, what if this one were 4 and this was 0.5? Well, they do add up to 4.5, but that's not a 2 to 1 ratio because 4 is not double 0.5. 4 is actually 8 times 0.5, so that's not going to be right. So I'm gonna erase all this stuff now. What if we had, what about 3.5 and 1? Well, that again adds up to 4.5, but that's not a 2-to-1 ratio. That's actually a 3.5 to 1 ratio, because 3.5 is 3.5 times 1. So that's not our answer. Let's see. Now another student had an idea of splitting 4.5 into 3. So she actually took this and she started doing long division. And she said, if I can split this entire segment, if I know it's all 4.5, if I can split into 3 equal parts, right? Let me do that again, make that picture a little better. So she said, okay, if I can take BH and split into 3 equal parts, and I can find out what each part is, well, 2 of those will add up to BD, and the other one will be DH. So 4.5 divided by 3 is 1. So 3 goes into 4 once, 3. And then we have bring down a 1, bring down to 5. Remember, put up your decimal. 3 goes into 15, 5 times. We have no remainder. So 4.5 divided by 3 is 1.5. So that means that each of these is 1.5. This is 1.5, and this is 1.5. So that means, if you look there, that BD must be 2 of those 1.5s. So BD must be 3, because 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. And DH must be 1.5. And that fits because 3 plus 1.5 equals 4.5. Also, 3 is double 1.5. So we have our 2-to-1 ratio. So also we have our 2-to-1 ratio with 3 to 1.5. Because if I reduce 3 to 1.5, you get 2 to 1. All right? So I'm not going to go further into that, but we do have our 2-to-1 ratio because BD is double DH. So if we're looking for DH, that'd be 1.5. There we go. So hopefully that helped, and hopefully we had some people actually watching. All right? So hand in your homework.